Sophia had always loved old bookstores. There was something magical about the scent of aged paper and the quiet atmosphere. One rainy afternoon, she found herself wandering into a small antique shop hidden between two tall buildings in downtown Boston. It wasn't her usual route, but something about the place called to her. Inside, the dim lighting and wooden shelves filled with dusty books gave the shop an almost timeless feel. She ran her fingers along the spines, looking for something special. That's when she noticed a small wooden box tucked between two thick novels. Curious, she pulled it out and opened it. Inside, wrapped in delicate yellowed paper, was an old letter. The handwriting was elegant and old-fashioned. The ink had faded, but the words were still clear. To the one who finds this, know that love never truly fades. If you wish to uncover the truth, follow the clues within these pages. Sophia's heart raced. Who had written this? And what truth was waiting to be uncovered? Part 2. A clue in the pages. Sophia's fingers trembled as she held the letter. Was it just an old forgotten note, or was there something more to it? She glanced around the shop, half expecting someone to be watching her, but the only other person inside was the elderly shop owner, who was reading behind the counter. She carefully unwrapped the yellowed paper and looked inside the wooden box again. Beneath the letter was a small, faded book. The cover was made of dark leather, and the title had long since disappeared. Sophia flipped through the pages, searching for anything unusual. And then she saw a single pressed violet, delicate and dry, placed between two pages near the middle of the book. A small handwritten note was scribbled in the margin, "Begin where our story started." Sophia's mind raced. Whose story? And where had it begun? She knew she couldn't leave without the book. She walked up to the counter, the wooden box and the book in her hands. The old shopkeeper peered over his glasses. That book hasn't been touched in years. Interesting choice. Sophia hesitated. Do you know anything about it? He shook his head. It came with a collection of estate books. I believe they belong to an artist who lived here in the 1950s. A woman named Eleanor Hart. Sophia's pulse quickened. Eleanor Hart. The name sounded strangely familiar. But where had she heard it before? Part 3. The mystery deepens. Sophia thanked the shopkeeper and stepped out into the cool evening air, the book clutched tightly in her hands. The streetlights flickered to life, casting a warm glow on the cobblestone streets. She walked slowly, her mind spinning with questions. Who was Eleanor Hart? And what did the note mean? I begin where our story started. Back at her apartment, she carefully set the book and the wooden box on her desk. She opened her laptop and typed Eleanor Hart Artist 1950s into the search bar. A few articles appeared, and as she scrolled through them, one caught her eye. The Forgotten Love Story of Eleanor Hart and William Monroe. Sophia clicked on the link, her heart pounding. The article described Eleanor as a young painter who had lived in New York in the 1950s. She had been deeply in love with a man named William Monroe, a poet. Together, they had dreamed of traveling the world, capturing its beauty through words and paint. But then, suddenly, Eleanor had disappeared. No one knew what had happened to her, and William had spent years searching, leaving behind poems that spoke of lost love and unanswered questions. Sophia gasped. Could the book she held contain some missing piece of their story? She turned the pages carefully, her fingers brushing over the faded ink. Then, near the back of the book, something caught her eye, a folded piece of paper tucked between two pages. With trembling hands, she unfolded it and read the first line. William, my love, I must leave, but I will wait for you where our story began. Sophia's breath hitched. This was Eleanor's handwriting, and she had left a clue. But where had their story begun? Part 4, Tracing the Past. Sophia reread the note, her heart racing. Where their story began. But where was that? She needed to find out more about Eleanor and William. She grabbed her laptop again and searched for William Monroe. Several poetry collections appeared, some out of print, others still available. Then, she noticed a small biography attached to one of the listings. It mentioned that William and Eleanor had first met at a small cafe in Greenwich Village, a place that had been popular with writers and artists in the 1950s. That had to be it. Without hesitation, Sophia put on her coat and stepped outside into the crisp night air. The city was alive with lights and distant laughter as she walked toward the village. As she moved through the old streets, she imagined Eleanor and William walking here decades ago, sharing dreams of art and poetry. "Excuse me," she said to the barista, "do you know if this cafe has always been here?" The barista, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, smiled. "Oh, yes. It's been here since the 1940s. A lot of poets and artists used to come here." "Why do you ask?" Sophia hesitated. Should she tell the whole story? Instead, she simply said, "I'm researching an artist named Eleanor Hart. I think she used to come here." The woman's smile faded slightly. Eleanor Hart. Now, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Sophia's breath caught. "You know about her?" The barista nodded. "Not personally, but my grandmother used to talk about her. She was in love with a poet, William Monroe. People say she left a letter for him here, but he never found it." A chill ran down Sophia's spine. Could the letter still be here? She swallowed hard. "Do you know where it might be?" The woman tilted her head, thinking. "If it's anywhere, it would be in the back. We keep old things from the past in storage." "You're welcome to take a look." Sophia's heart pounded as she followed the barista into the back room. Dusty shelves lined the walls, filled with forgotten books, framed photographs, and old letters. She carefully ran her fingers over the boxes, searching for anything that could hold Eleanor's words. And then, beneath a pile of yellowed papers, she saw it. A small, delicate envelope with the initials H, written in elegant script. Her fingers trembled as she picked it up. The paper was fragile, but the ink had not faded. She slowly unfolded the letter, feeling as if she were stepping into Eleanor's world. "William, my love, if you are reading this, it means you have finally found me." Sophia's eyes scanned the letter, her heart pounding as if Eleanor's words were meant for her. "William, my love, if you are reading this, it means you have finally found me. I have waited for you in every sunset, in every whispered verse of your poetry. But time has played its cruel tricks on us, and I fear it may be too late. If you still remember our promise, meet me where the willow tree bends toward the water. Sophia inhaled sharply. The words carried such longing, such quiet heartbreak. Had William ever found this letter? Had he gone to the meeting place? And most importantly, where was this willow tree? The barista peered over her shoulder. That's it. That's the letter she left. Sophia nodded. Do you know where this place might be? A willow tree near the water. The woman frowned, thinking. Then, her face lit up. There's an old story about a couple who used to sit beneath a willow tree near the Hudson River. It was a place for lovers, poets, dreamers. Some say it's still there, past the West Village, near an old stone bench. Sophia's mind raced. She had to go there. If the tree still stood, maybe there was more to the story waiting to be uncovered. Thank you, she said quickly, carefully folding the letter and tucking it into her coat pocket. With a deep breath, she turned and rushed out into the night, the city lights guiding her way. Part 6. The Whispering Willow. Sophia's footsteps echoed against the quiet streets as she made her way toward the river. The city still hummed with life, but here, near the water, everything felt calmer. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of autumn leaves and distant rain. She reached the spot the barista had described, a small clearing with a single, ancient willow tree leaning toward the river. A weathered stone bench sat beneath it, half hidden by overgrown grass. The place felt untouched by time, as if it had been waiting. Her heart pounded as she stepped closer. The branches swayed gently, as if whispering secrets of the past. Sophia ran her fingers along the rough bark, wondering if Eleanor and William had once sat here, their hands intertwined, their love sealed beneath these very branches. Then she noticed something faint carvings on the tree's trunk. She leaned in, brushing away the dirt and moss. Slowly, the letters became clear. W and E always. Sophia gasped. The proof was here. They had been real. Their love had been real. A cold breeze swept through the air, but Sophia didn't move. She stood there, the letter still in her coat pocket, the mystery still unfolding. What had happened to them? Had William ever returned? She needed to know. But that was a story for another night. What do you think happened to Eleanor and William? Do you believe in love that lasts forever? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more English stories and mysteries. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next part coming soon.